Hey guys, it's Ash, and in this video I'm going to give you guys my ranking of the top 10 cards right now in Clash Royale. I did a video of this a couple of months ago, but of course the game has gone through a lot of drastic changes since then. There are currently a total of 60 cards in the game, and every card is good in its own way and in its own niche. So it was pretty hard deciding on the top 10. So I'd like to emphasize that this is my list of what I think the best cards are and the cards that have the greatest influence in the game right now, along with the most popular cards used by the top players and cards that are mostly used by big tournament and challenge winners. The rankings are also based on how versatile that card is, meaning if it can fit in multiple good decks as opposed to just one deck, and also competition with other similar cards. So let's start with number 10, which I've ranked the new Mega Minion to be. The Mega Minion is a card that the game really needed. A card that doesn't die to poison, has a high damage per second stat for only 3 elixir cost, and can avoid being targeted and pushed back by ground troops like the bowler. Ever since the introduction of the Mega Minion, people have begun to use Mini P.E.K.K.A less and less frequently. Of course, Mega Minion has the advantage of flying and costing 1 less elixir than the Mini P.E.K.K.A, but also it can target and counter a Lava Hound very effectively. It is also very versatile and can fit in almost any deck, both ground and air decks. All of this makes the Mega Minion one of the best cards right now in the game. At number 9, we have the Bowler. Ever since the Bowler got an elixir reduction from 6 elixir to 5 elixir, he took the game by storm. All of a sudden, Giant Bowler Poison and Bowler Control decks were the most dominant decks in the game. Now with the introduction of Mega Minion and Inferno Dragon, the Bowler is more balanced. However, the Bowler is still one of the deadliest defensive troops in the game. Out of the 40 troops in the game, the Bowler can kill or push back 23 of them, which is a staggering 58% of the troops in the game. The Bowler has proven to be a super good card when used with the Giant or Hog Rider or Golem, or even a hyper defensive chip damage deck with the Miner and Inferno Tower. Number 8, the Lava Hound. The Lava Hound just took a big step forward in the game. The Lava Hound was always a good card, but now with the introduction of the Mega Minion, it made the Lava Hound into an even better one. Previously, Lava Hound decks lacked a high DPS air attacker that wasn't weak to poison or fireball, and now with the advent of the Mega Minion, Lava Hound decks have become a very good answer to many giant poison decks. The two most powerful forms of Lava Hound decks consist of the Lava Hound with poison or lightning spell, and using a miner to shield your lava pucks is an excellent offensive combination as well. Lava Hound decks have also become my favorite decks for consistently winning grand challenges. They have a very high win rate. Number 7, the Ice Wizard. The Ice Wizard is still the best defensive troop in the game. He would actually be ranked in the top 3 if it wasn't for the Ice Spirit. However, due to competition with the Ice Spirit, the Ice Wizard lost a lot of usage by top players. He still makes defending a lot easier and creating powerful counter pushes. And even though his splash damage isn't that powerful, any combination with his splash and a zap spell or poison or even an Ice Spirit can quickly kill low HP troops such as minions when on offense. When compared to the Princess, who's also a 3 elixir aerial splash attacker, the Ice Wizard in my opinion has the upper hand because of not only his defensive attributes, but more importantly, not being weak to poison, and also not being an easy bait to the Miner and the rising popularity of the Log. Number 6, the Giant. The Giant is perhaps the most frustrating card to deal with among high level play. The Giant is a very dangerous troop with high HP and damage per second while only costing 5 elixir. The Giant is not an overpowered card, but when used in a combination with poison and multiple other support troops, he becomes a nightmare to stop. It's just so easy to build up a very powerful combination with the Giant because he only costs 5 elixir unlike a 8 elixir Golem. Not only that, the main reason why the Giant is a nightmare during double elixir time is the Elixir Collector and Poison. The Elixir Collector is a card that's very easy to protect since not that many cards can stop it from you building up elixir, and when the Giant is coupled with the poison spell, very few troops in the game can stop him. Not only that, he's a slow troop, which is actually a very good thing because that allows you to form bigger and bigger combinations behind your Giant. And lastly, you can reset an Inferno Tower with Zap, so you can't even stop the Giant with the best defensive building in the game. Number 5, we have the Miner. The Miner is currently my highest ranked legendary card, and that is mainly because of how incredibly versatile and unique this card is. Unlike the Ice Wizard, the Miner doesn't have competition with other similar cards, and unlike the Lava Hound, the Miner is so much more versatile and can be used in almost any deck and make it look good. You can use him with your Hog Rider or Lava Hound or Bowler or Giant or even a Cycle deck around him. There are more unique decks using the Miner than any other card in the game. The Miner also has that ability to directly target an Elixir Collector and not be weak to a zap spell like the Goblin Barrel. All of these reasons make the Miner the best legendary card in the game. Number 4, Poison. The Poison spell is an absolutely deadly card in the game. Ever since the Freeze spell began to go through so many nerfs, it gave way to the rise of the Poison spell. Even before Freeze used to be more popular, I still consider the Poison spell to be a super good card. Unlike Freeze spell, the Poison spell has a much bigger radius and does damage and slows down everything within it. While the problem with the Freeze spell is that because it does not deal any damage, you're gonna get counter pushed pretty hard. Currently, the Poison spell is the second most popular spell among top players, the first being Zap of course, and most of the deadliest decks in the meta carry Poison, such as Giant Poison decks, Lava Hound Poison, Miner Poison, Hog Rider Poison, and so on. Number 3, the Elixir Collector. The Elixir Collector is a very powerful and important card. This card is the reason why some of the deadliest decks and strategies in the game are so deadly. With it, you can form insane combinations with your Giant Poison or Lava Hound, or even play very aggressive Cycle decks, or Control decks, or even Siege decks. It works with basically every deck. Not only that, there's a very big advantage behind having it. For example, if you have the Elixir Collector in your starting hand, and your opponent doesn't have it in his starting hand, then you've already taken the advantage in the game without even doing anything. And believe it or not, the Elixir Collector is the most popular card in the game right now. If you look at the global leaderboard of the top 200 players right now, don't be surprised to see that almost everyone has this card in their deck right now. That's how important it is. Number 2, the Ice Spirit. The Ice Spirit, in my opinion, is the best troop in the game. It can do so much for only 1 elixir. It can freeze anything for 2 seconds, does splash damage, can target air units like minions, doesn't die to a zap spell under tournament levels, can outrange and kill fire spirits, can reset the charge of an Infernal Tower or Sparky or Prince, can force a troop or building to retarget, can mitigate the damage of lone troops like Musketeer or Ice Wizard by a lot. The list just goes on with the Ice Spirit, and because it only costs 1 elixir, it can allow you to cycle through your cards faster, keep your average elixir cost very low. You can almost never go wrong with an Ice Spirit in your deck, and it's so easy to make net positive elixir trades. Definitely, hands down, the best unit in the game. Number 1, Zap. The Zap spell recently received a half-second stun reduction, but that really did nothing to change the Zap spell. As long as there's a stun, the Zap spell will still be the most useful card in the game. It can reset the charge of an Infernal Tower or Sparky and force any unit to retarget onto the next closest unit. Unlike an Ice Spirit, you can place the Zap spell anywhere on your opponent's side of the map with accuracy and without delay. It's a very cheap card, only 2 elixir, so it not only helps with cycling cards, but also can allow you to get huge elixir profits. Like the Ice Spirit, you can almost never go wrong with using a Zap spell in your deck. It's just a super important and useful card in the game. Especially now with the introduction of the Inferno Dragon, it just makes the Zap spell even more useful to carry in your deck. So that's my list of the top 10 cards in the game right now. Let me know in the comments below whether you guys agree with me or disagree, or believe that another card should have been in the top 10. Remember, there can only be 10 cards in the top 10. So yeah, thanks for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed this, and subscribe for more Clash Royale content every day, and I'll see you guys again soon. Later.